Hi. As I said in the note you read, we are talking to Todd Thomas, who is a director at Pit and Balcony, and Fouad Fakhouri, who is the conductor of the Saginaw Bay Symphony Orchestra. And they're getting together on April 2nd to do, I don't know what to call it, a concertized, hybrid, whatever production of Amadeus. So, what are people going to see? Is everybody on stage?
Everybody is indeed on stage. And by that, I mean everybody is on stage. So the cast and the orchestra and the SVSU concert choir.
That's going to be a little crowded, isn't it?
Very crowded.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in an intimate space.
Okay. So I thought, let me look up how long ago this came out as a play and then the movie. We're talking 1979 for the play, 84 for the movie. That is a long time ago. How are you going to attract maybe viewers who never saw either one or have forgotten or don't know anything about it? Why should they come to this?
So I think that's a great question, Janet. Thank you. And even if you did see those shows and it's your favorite in the world, or if you never have, we're sort of assuming from the play standpoint, we're assuming that you probably haven't, or as you said, you might have forgotten some of the story. And, it's a very engaging story about a rivalry between Antonio Salieri and this fascinating genius prodigy, Amadeus Mozart. And so it has everything that you're going to want in a show. It's got intrigue, it's got secrets, it's got romance, it's got all of those things. Plus, it has a focus on the music of Mozart, and what attendees will experience with this show that they will not have experienced in either of the two prior is the ability to experience the actual music of Mozart,
Yeah.
as it is referenced and as it is used in the play. In the play and the film, it's referenced quite often.
Quite often. Yep.
Right, and
Or the
specific
music's
pieces.
background. Yeah.
Yeah, or its background.
Yeah.
And in this case, Fouad and his talented folks are making it very real.
If I remember, and I think I'd said the movie was like 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I remember the play as being long. How do you condense that huge story, Maestro? Was there something written for this type of version?
So, Janet, it's as if you're like uh, with me and Todd all along. All the questions you're asking are the questions that we're going back and forth with. It's a great. I mean, that's a great question, and we've really been sort of figuring how to do that because the play is long enough, right? And then when
Yeah.
you add the music,
Yep.
that makes it extra long, and we really are trying to narrow it down to about 2.5 hours. So we had to get and Todd can speak more to that, but we had to get permissions to do some cuts in
Ah.
some of the actors' lines, and we have had to cut certain pieces to sort of adjust and as much as possible because Todd and I talked about it in the beginning. You know, as we view it, as certainly as I view it from my point of view, that the music of Mozart is the star of the show, right? That's really the person that the the star.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep that music sacred almost, and not sort of have it anything interfere with it when it happens. And Todd has been very sort of sensitive to if the actors have lines, they're either in the beginning or at the end of the piece.
Ah.
So that's the challenge is to sort of maintain all of these things. Great storyline with the actors through Todd, great music with our musicians, as well as combining them under 2.5 hours. It's been challenging. It's not easy.
So who did the cutting? Both of you, I guess, where you needed to the music on your part, and then
Todd, Todd is the cutter.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's funny because Janet, as people have talked to us about it, and it is fascinating. I'm sure you're going to go there about the collaboration aspect.
Yeah.
But I've been referring to it as a little bit of horse trading. So we Fouad says, well, I really want to keep this. And I say, okay, well, I can give you that, but you're going to have to give me this. And that's actually been a lot of fun. And I think, interestingly enough, tonight is going to be the point that the two of us are sitting there looking at how it's all fitting together and hopefully making, maybe a few additional tweaks here and there. Because, yeah, we want it to be a performance that is strong, that it has a lot of punch. And at the same time, you can have a great performance, but it can drag on. So we're trying to keep it, within a reasonable time frame. I'm not sure all the trading is done yet,
I was going to say,
but at least most of it is.
somebody should film that. That might be entertaining as well.
I have to tell you because I'm working on that now in preparation for our meeting tonight with the actors, Todd and I. It's really hard to cut, even as I'm looking at the actual script. The lines of every time I read something that we've cut in the script, I think, oh gosh, I wish we could keep that because it's such a great line.
Yeah.
And even if it's not my part of the performance, I still would rather not cut. But we can't have a 5-hour performance.
Exactly. And I think you've already answered the question. I was going to play you against each other. What's number one, the music or the acting? But you did say the music, correct? You feel?
Yes, and we both agree. I think there's a place here. It's an interesting thing because you could say that the music is it, and so then the story becomes minor to it. What we've tried to do is to really enhance the music through providing the story. So it's still important. The story and the actors and all of that are still important. But at the end of the night, people should leave having enjoyed the play, but being, wowed by the music.
By the music, yeah.
And also just follow up with that, Janet. It's almost the way I look at it. It's almost as if when you attend a play by Shakespeare, right? If you read the script only, it's difficult to understand. But when you actually go and see the play and hear them, right? And this is exactly what's happening. I'm hoping that the audience, as they listen to the music of Mozart through the actors, now have a different point of view and understand that music differently.
So Todd, there must be a tremendous challenge for your actors, because let's face it, they don't act in front of a full orchestra ever. And I can't get inside an actor's mind, but how do they prepare for something that they've really never done before?
Right. That's also a good question. And, the good news is that we have tools that we didn't always have. And so one of the things that Maestro did early on was provide me with YouTube links to versions of the pieces that are close to what he's going to have the orchestra play. So once we had the basic structure of the play done, we started including that music, having the actors realize, okay, during this period of time, you are literally doing nothing. During this period of time, you're watching an orchestra, that kind of thing, so that they could prepare for those stretches of time. That's the biggest thing, is that, if there's a 6-minute orchestra piece, you don't want the actors sitting there staring out at the audience and picking their ear, and doing all of that. They need to stay in character. And I still think that on Thursday, when they actually have the live orchestra, it's going to be a shock at how full the music is. So one of our plans is tomorrow night, Fouad is rehearsing with the orchestra, and all of us, the actors, are just attending so that they can get a first feel for what that is going to be like.
So everybody stays on stage the whole time, actors, singers, the whole thing.
Yeah. Every once in a while, an actor steps out, but they come right back. So,
are we costumed as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We are costumed. We have lights. We have a light designer who's quite talented and has had to also figure out how do you help the play and at the same time, keep the orchestra at focus. We don't have a lot of set for lots of obvious reasons. But yeah, it's costumed, and we have some of the better actors in the region that are also in this, so it's going to be great.
So Maestro, I've always wondered, this story is pretty darn fake.
Right.
What is your mindset on perpetuating that fakeness?
Uh, I, yeah, thanks, Janet.
You're welcome.
Uh, I have mixed feelings about it. So I do understand. It used to bother me a lot more when I was younger. As a pure, you're a purist, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is fake, and I always preface it. And I mean, I think Todd has said it a million times. Every interview we've done, we've mentioned that this is a made up story.
Yep.
But sadly for Salieri, because it really just has killed his reputation immediately. He was a good
Wasn't great
guy.
to begin with.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't a bad composer. He just wasn't Mozart.
Yeah.
But honestly, if this story, as a vehicle, allows people to come and enjoy a symphonic performance and get interested in the music of Mozart, then I think it might be worth it. It's well worth that effort. And we preface every time we do it that this is a made up story.
Made up story. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So was Mozart as incorrigible as he is made out to be, though? Kind of a pompous, you know what?
Absolutely. If you go
Okay.
back, I mean, he was not even that as much as he is just I don't know if a brat would be a word, but he's one of those your typical child prodigies that almost never grows up. He was, you look at his letters that he's written, his humor, his body humor, and the way he speaks to people, and he was exactly that.
He
Very,
was so that part of the story is true.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
absolutely. Yeah,
the possible murder.
yeah,
Although everybody loves a good murder, right?
that's
So,
right.
Right. And if I can just add, I mean, Fouad, you mentioned it. We're becoming experts in the interviewing process, but I think a good way to think of it is something that you had said earlier, and that is that because it's very much like Mozart actually was, then we need a foil for him, and
yeah.
that's Salieri. As
Okay.
soon as you have Salieri, then you've got the ability to make that story real, as opposed to just, wow, this person was, all of those things. Now you've got somebody to play against, and that I think I similarly sort of regret that this has happened to Salieri, but it's a great story. Yeah.
So have both of you watched the movie several times, or did you just say no? We're going to do it our way.
For me, I'll just answer quickly. I try to never do that.
Yeah.
So I did see the movie back when the movie
Back
came
when.
out. But yeah, I try to avoid that just because then I'm not directing as I direct. I'm trying to recreate somebody else's stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the way I approach it. I did not. Some of the actors probably did. But the same thing, I always discourage that a little bit so that they can bring their version
Be
of the
their own.
characters. Yeah.
Yep. How about you, Maestro?
I've seen the movie like Todd. I've seen it a long time ago,
Okay.
a few times, but I have not watched it for this production. And in fact, similarly, I don't want to. I want to live
Right.
in the moment, and whatever that moment is, I'm good to go with it. And yeah.
So anything else you two want to add?
Go ahead, Fouad.
I would just want to say this is a unique experience.
Yeah.
To be able to bring that many forces on one stage in a community like Saginaw is a really, really important event. We've been working on this for a long time, planning it, and to have this happen, and it only happens, unfortunately, because obviously of financial reasons and the resources it takes. It'll happen once. It's a great event. I would encourage anyone in the Saginaw and the broader area to come and attend it. It doesn't happen often, and it is bound to be a moving and emotional experience. I mean, they will leave emotionally moved, not just with the music, but with the acting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would also to answer your question, I would say that there are lots of reasons to come see the show, and part of it is just the sheer nature of the arts organizations collaborating is pretty amazing. But I think the output of that, and I think this is kind of what you were saying, Fouad, I think the output of that is going to be a really unique experience. And I would encourage anybody that likes symphony, anybody that likes plays, anybody that likes unique experiences. This will be a really unique one, and it'll be a long time before a similar experience could be created.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah.
How many times do you actually get to rehearse in full with everybody there? Just like once or twice, right?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah. I mean, that's to me amazing. When you think
Uh-huh.
of some shows that rehearse for months and
Yep.
you put all this together for 2 rehearsals.
Well,
Yep.
trust me,
That is
we find
that.
it amazing too.
Yes, we do, and the actors find it amazing, and they go back and forth from "Wow, that's very cool" to "I can't believe this is what we're doing." Because I mean, typically, if it were a musical, we
Oh,
would have had a week with the orchestra.
yeah.
We would have been doing all of this stuff, and I mean, the symphony is made up of professional musicians. They come, they're ready to go. They don't need those weeks. And I think the actors, it will be for 2 days. And the important thing for me that I keep saying to myself, and my stage manager keeps reminding me, is I have to keep my hands off of it because once we get to that 2 days, they need to feel comfortable that they're doing what they should do, and I need not to mess with it. Just so they can have that solid rehearsal with the orchestra.
And then it's all on the maestro's head to carry it
Right.
all off, right?
Yeah.
Well, not quite, but that was. I think Todd. I mean, Todd is being modest. The amount of work they've done is incredible because this is obviously not an easy play. I mean, especially for somebody like the two main characters, Salieri and Mozart. But
Yeah.
Salieri's role is significant. I mean, he's
Yes.
on the stage almost continuously for about 3 hours. It's really. I watched a little bit of it yesterday. I went to part of their rehearsal. They're doing a great job. The actors are doing a terrific job. It's really moving at the end. And I saw the second act yesterday. I just would encourage people to come and attend. They will enjoy it. You will
So
love it.
Todd, do they rehearse with the music or no?
So we have been rehearsing with the music recorded
That's what I meant. Yeah.
for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
But
Okay.
prior to that, so we shoot for 100 hours of rehearsal for a show, and so we've been doing it in a rehearsal room. We just moved to the stage here in the last few days. We're still using the recorded music, but they know when the music occurs. They have a
Yeah.
sense of how long it is. And that's where we are right now. Is it's almost time to add the live music, which I
Yep.
think will blow all of them away.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, a reminder, it is this Saturday, April 2nd at 8 o'clock at the Temple Theater. I assume we still have tickets available.
Yep.
Right? Yes.
Make sure you come because like they have both said, and I concur, it's maybe even once in a lifetime for this area. It's been a long, long time. I think way back there was a collaboration with these groups on Midsummer Night's Dream, but
Right.
nothing as convoluted and complicated as this one. So yeah. Okay. So thank you for your time, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Thank you,
Okay.
Janet. Thanks for
People
having
can
us.
buy tickets on our website, SaginawBayOrchestra.com. That's where.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.